All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with a little Golden State Warrior video. Check out Pig in a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in Marin, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Well, big Friday around the NBA. Why? Because it's the beginning of NBA free agency, and the Warriors are looking for guys on the margins that can help them maybe win another title under Steph Curry. And that right there in and of itself is a huge monumental challenge. So before we get into the 6 guys that I would love to see them go after, and some of these are unrealistic. There's an awful lot of people with unrealistic expectations, and a couple of mine may be unrealistic as well, because you never know which players are willing to take a little bit less to win a championship. Some guys are and some guys aren't. Some guys want top dollar and they don't care if the team wins or loses. Other times there's situations where guys play 3 or 4 years in the league. They're part of a lot of losing and they start to really yearn to be on a winning team that knows how to play. I know Dante DiVincenzo expressed that sentiment when he signed with the Warriors last year, that, he really enjoyed his time in Milwaukee and then went to Sacramento. Sacramento was not a winning team when he was there, and he missed that winning and signed with Golden State. To take a run at a title. So, you never know which player's going to take less. And that's what kind of makes the thing somewhat exciting. Now, the other thing I would say, if you're looking for the Warriors, what makes sense? There's all kinds of different free agents. There's guys that are ex-Warriors, and there's guys that have ties to the team, and we can go through some of their needs. But to me, there's ring-chasing guys who will sometimes take the minimum to come to you. A lot of times those guys are late in their, long in the tooth, late in their career. If you go that direction, you just got to make sure that they're healthy and that they can play major minutes if need be. Otto Porter comes to mind as a guy who came here, as a ring chaser, but really put together a nice year. Played defense, rebounded, shot 45% from 3, wound up on a championship team, and then parlayed it into a big contract and moved on. But I think those kinds of players you're looking for. Now, you're not looking for older players. The Warriors, Draymond's older, Paul's older, Steph Curry's older, Klay Thompson, if he comes back, he's older. They need some guys who are in their prime. So they need some free agents in the prime of their career for the most part. What is basketball prime? I would say anywhere between 26 and 32. 32 for certain players could still be the prime. Maybe 30, 31 would be the super prime. So if you can find guys who are in that window age-wise, I think that really helps you, especially on a Warrior team where you may look around and say, you know what, there's 4 guys out tonight with injuries. When you moved off of Jordan Poole, it became essential that the free agents that you get, even the minimum free agents, not be just guys who can throw a couple minutes here and there and give you a veteran guy in the locker room. They may need guys off their bench to play minutes and win games to keep them afloat in the West throughout the bulk of the regular season. So I don't want the old free agents. I want the younger free agents who potentially would be coming to win a ring and see if they can advance their career in a winning situation. All right, let's go through the 6 guys that I think make sense. There's a couple players that they really need. They need a perimeter shooting big man. They've got Kevon Looney. They've got Trace Jackson Davis. They obviously have Draymond Green if he comes back. Hopefully they have Draymond Green. So what do they need from that big man that they add in free agency? I think they need a guy who can shoot the basketball. I also think that if the Warriors are really going to win a title again, they're going to have to get not lucky, but they're going to have to hit on somebody who really plays well in coming out of free agency and, is really has the kind of talent to take it to another level at Golden State. The guy that I'm thinking of, and the 3 centers that I like Frank Kaminsky. Why? Because Kaminsky knows how to play the game, can shoot the ball from 3. If you try to run him off the 3-point line, he can put it on the deck, create for somebody else and find cutters, throw the lob. He's a real smart basketball player. So I think Kaminsky would be really nice. I think he would fit really, really well. I love the competitive fire of Mo Wagner. And to me, the Warriors lacked a little toughness and competitive fire. And I think Wagner would be a great addition because he would provide that. He can shoot an open 3. He'll battle you. He'll bang you. He'll rebound. He'll block a few shots. He'll run the floor. He doesn't have one skill that I think is really that impressive to me, his best skill is he's a great competitor. So I love Mo Wagner potentially, but the guy that I would go for if I could get him, and he would be my number one choice for a free agent big man, is the guy the Lakers just cut loose, Mo Bamba. I've loved Mo Bamba going back to Texas. Mo Bamba is not old, and he can shoot the three. And he's got huge length. And with a team that has Chris Paul and Stephen Curry, I mean, and Draymond Green, you got at a guy like Mo Bamba, you can throw him the lob. I think one of the things that I would love to see the Warriors do this year is they have guys now with Pajemski and Curry and Thompson and Wiggins, guys who can shoot the three ball. And Mo Bamba can shoot the three ball pretty well, but really what you need is you got to have guys who can close out on that three, and you got to have guys who stretch the floor. And so if you have Mo Bamba, I think he's a guy that makes you defend the rim against the lob and the 3-point line. And he's in his prime, and he might be able to bust out and have the best years of his career right here in Golden State. So I love the competitiveness of Wagner. I love the kind of the basketball IQ of Kaminsky, but I love the all-around skill set and age of Mo Bamba. And I might roll the dice on the Laker big man. Now, he's probably not coming here for the minimum, but you never know. You never know if he's been in Orlando a lot of his career. He hasn't had a chance to win. He's a good guy, high character guy. Maybe he looks at the Golden State from afar and says, man, I mean, I'll say this. If I were him, I'd want to play on a team that essentially has 3 point guards. Steph Curry, Chris Paul, Draymond Green can all really pass. And you wind up with a guy like Mo Bamba, you could throw him the lob 4 or 5 times a game. And he gives you 10, 10, and 2 or 10, 10, and 3 from the center spot in limited minutes. That can be very, very valuable. So those are my 3 centers: Mo Wagner, Frank Kaminsky, Mo Bamba. All right, I'm really interested in Seth Curry. Seth Curry, if he's going to ring Chase, I think this would be a great place to do it. I mean, I think he's a much better player than when he was here last time. And I know he wants to stay out of his brother's shadow, but it's time for Seth to win a ring. And why not partner with your brother and play on a team that you used to play on and play for Kerr. I think it would be a great story. And I think Seth Curry would help. I mean, there's a chance that with Curry and Paul's age, that there may be a time where they need Seth Curry to start 3 or 4 games and kind of be a major contributor. He's that kind of a talent. He could start for 2-3 weeks and really give you, a nice offensive performance. So Seth Curry would be a guy that I would look at. One guy that I think is a real sleeper, who's a young guy, is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who played for the Pelicans, who's kind of a 6'4" 2 guard with a lot of outside range. He's a younger player, but this is another guy that, at least you're getting a player that's starting to enter his prime years and could play big minutes for you and give you a lot of 3-point production. I like him as an athlete going to the hole. To me, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a really nice player. I don't think he's going to have to take the minimum, but he may just be overlooked. And he's got good shooting ability, deep range, and athleticism and youth on his side. He makes a lot of sense to me. And one guy that I might, you may say no on this one because you may have to do the investigation into his physical health. But TJ Warren is an outstanding scorer. I mean, this guy went for 50 in an NBA game. He's had some physical issues, but he's not old. And we're talking about a 6'8" guy who can flat out score. He can shoot. He can drive. He's just one of the great high-powered scorers there are. And it's all about, is he physically right? But if he's just a guy that needs to play limited minutes, TJ Warren could be instant offense off the bench for Golden State. And I just think when you look at what they lost with Jordan Poole, they lost 20 points a game in the NBA. That is not an easy thing to replace, I don't think. And I think to some degree, you're going to replace the playmaking with Chris Paul, and maybe you're even more efficient with Paul over Poole. But are you really going to replace Poole's offense with Brandon Pajemski? I mean, that may be a tall ask of a rookie coming out of Santa Clara. So I like the idea of definitely adding some key veterans there. And those would be the guys that I like. TJ Warren, I think, would give them a lot of offense. So my guys are Seth Curry, TJ Warren, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then the big men, Mo Bamba, Mo Wagner, and Frank Kaminsky. So I'll be really thrilled if Golden State winds up with any of those guys. Of that group, I would say I'd be, it's somewhat surprised if really any of them took the mid-level, but they may. Every one of those guys has a reason to merit in the mid-level. I should say the minimum. But they may. You may find that Curry's brother would take the minimum. TJ Warren is such a great player, but he's made some money in the NBA. Maybe he would take the minimum. Mo Bamba's played for some losing teams. Kaminsky's got such great basketball IQ. Why wouldn't you want to play on a team, that rewards guys who play well off the ball? He plays well off the ball. So, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker could really give the Warriors a big time scoring guard that is ready to play right now and gives them another sniper from the perimeter. So those would be the guys I would look at. We'll see what Mike Dunleavy and Joe Lacob have planned. Should be an interesting Friday. Warriors are maybe going to sign 2, maybe 3 minimum salaried free agents. Those would be the 6 that I would go for. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.